What's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. We have to talk about this. This was a hell of a game. And if I'm honest with y'all, I probably have less to complain about in this game than I've probably had about any game probably this season. We played a hell of a game. We played a hell of a game. I have a whole lot of kudos and accolades to hand out to the Detroit Pistons, but we couldn't close it. We couldn't close the show. We couldn't turn that corner. And some of our fundamentals reared its ugly head. And I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, as always, smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for the channel. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. I can't wait to get into this because there's so much to extract from this. Oh man, I'm gonna let y'all roll into the chat. I'm gonna let y'all roll in. Um, come on in, come on in. We gotta have our chat about this. We gotta talk about this because this was a heartbreaker. This was a heartbreaker. This was the team that injured Ivy last season. This is also a team that talks a lot of trash. Franz Wagner, um, Desmond Bain, Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter. This is a rivalry between the coaches. JB Bickerstaff and Jamal Mosley are best friends. Um, there is so much. There is so much to get into. There's so much to get into. As always, uh, I may not be able to get to all the comments in the comment section. If you want to talk about a specific topic, shoot me a super chat and we'll pause to do so. But there is a lot for us to process about this game. Um, there is a lot. There's a lot. Let me just say salute to the chat. Don't forget to smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications if you have not already. Um, Manny, salute to you, brother. Appreciate you being the first one in the chat. Intermittent Productions, how's it going, man? How's it going? Um, Gretzky, always good to see you. Classic 76. Hero, it's good to see you in the chat. Blackheart, salute. Every White Side. Junior Guetta, Donovan. Yo, man, this was a hell of a game. This was a hell of a game. This was a hell of a game. Bad turnovers for sure. And I'm going to pull up all the stats. Some of the turnovers were things like offensive fouls. Those are things that we can clean up. This was a very physical game that went back and forth. And honestly, it was one of those games where it's a play here, it's a play there. Some of it is how referees are failing to be consistent. Some of it is also Cade Cunningham needing to take steps forward as a scorer. I keep saying that when you are going north and south and your game is very defined, it's very set, referees know how to call you. Referees know how to call those fouls. They know where they're coming from. They can study film. When you are constantly in the creative bag, kind of like a Kyrie Irving, it's harder for referees to keep track. It's harder for referees to see the angles, and guys can get away with more. But even with that said, uh, so much physicality gets overlooked by referees, gets let go by referees. And I think that Cade was justified in getting that technical. He was justified in getting that technical um, because the way that he has been refereed has been egregious. It has been egregious. I miss Jenkins too. We have to figure out our rotation. Jenkins only gets 8 minutes, and yet he has the second best plus minus. Paul Reed gives us only a few minutes at the end and has one of our best plus minuses on the team. And it's really interesting that, and I'm pulling up the scores here, so please don't mind me as I'm pulling up the scores so I make sure I have it ready for us. I keep saying that our best defenders are at the fringe of our rotation, and that's a problem. Dennis, Javante, Paul. I do appreciate that JB Bickerstaff looks like the way he's setting it up. If Duran or especially Stewart gets into foul trouble, he's just going to go with Paul Reed. He's just going to go with Paul Reed instead of trying to have them play this like limited amount of aggressiveness, physicality because of the fouls. He's just going to go with Paul Reed. But the downside is when you go with that theory, or you go with that, like, I guess, philosophical approach to the game. When it came to Asar Thompson, we didn't have another guy who could do that. And I think and I'm not even going to blame Asar Thompson for this one, for his foul trouble. Uh, Franz Wagner was getting away with a lot of flops, and they were smart flops. I wanna give him that because I went back. I went back and looked at his flops. They were legitimate flops. And when I say legitimate flops, I mean there was solid contact in a physical game. That because of the level of physicality, if the level of physicality was at an 8, he would get bumped at like a 5, but he would play it off like it was an 8. But because it was at least a 5, it was like, I get it, but I don't like it. I don't condone it, but I understand. Shout out to Chris Rock. That was what Franz Wagner was doing. But the reality in this game, it was going to be a gamble starting Tobias Harris on a wing. And in this case, it was Desmond Bane. And that was a matchup that we did not control from the beginning of the game. That was a matchup that we did not control. Desmond Bane got off early, and he never looked back. And that really hurt us. That really hurt us. I want to go through. Wait, what is this? What is this? Come on now. NBA.com. I need you to get your box score together. Here we go. Okay. There we go. NBA. Come on now. Get your box score together, NBA. It's giving me the wrong one. Giving me the wrong one. Okay, it's not going. It's playing with me. It's playing with my emotions right now. It's playing with me. Yo, I got 34 people in the chat. Smash the like button for me. I appreciate everybody being here. We are going to dive into this. There's so much for us to talk about. Manny, it's good to see you. Mr. Tony J, for sure, for sure. Blackheart, Ray Floyd, it's good to have you in the chat. Salute, brother. Is it just me? Insight, yo, what's good? Every white side, Mark System. Oh, Merc System, my bad. It's good to see you in the chat. Stephen Bunk, what's good? Ray Floyd, Manny, Jay, Nizzy, Avery, 360. Let's talk about it. Big at you. What's good? Okay, let me start off with the good. Because it's easy to go straight into the bad, and many times I do. When we play bad, I go straight into the bad. And sometimes I feel bad about no, I don't feel bad about that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel bad about that. Why? 23 for life. This was a hard loss. Like a really hard loss. The reality is they out executed us when it mattered the most. But this was a game where we executed extremely well for, I would say, about 90% of the game, which basically you played a really good game, if not a great game, not a lights out great game, but you played a really strong game. Let me start off with Jalen Duren. That is someone I have to start with because he played one hell of a game, especially on the defensive end. I have to acknowledge him. I have to acknowledge Jalen Duren. I've given him, man, so much criticism. So much criticism. And it's been due. His defensive footwork, his anticipation, his being able to maintain verticality, bailing out guys with reaches. I think he only had really one foul where I was like, you didn't need that. Swiping down at the ball. He played a hell of a game. Jalen Duren, 22 points, 4 blocks, 1 steal. No, sorry. No, he was a plus 22. Plus 22. Sorry about that. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. See, I don't like the way this is showing me. You know what? Give me a second. I'm sorry. This is annoying as hell. This is annoying as hell. NBA. I'm just gonna go straight to NBA.com. So I don't like this view. I want to see these stats straight up, and I want to read it to you straight up. Games, home. Man, this is rough. This is rough, y'all. This is rough. All right, here we go. Okay. Jalen Duren shot 5 of 8. How many times do I say Jalen Duren needs to shoot the ball in games? 15 times. He needs to get off at least 15 shot attempts every game. He just does. He had 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 really good assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, had 5 turnovers. That one hurt. Cade Cunningham had 8 turnovers. Only 3 fouls for Duren, plus 22. Had the best plus minus on the team. Played 31 minutes. Probably should have played more minutes. Jalen Duren, hell of a game. Hell of a game. Tobias Harris, strong game. Really strong game. You hit the 3 when it mattered down the stretch. 1 of 4. 5 rebounds. We needed a little bit more. 1 assist. 4 fouls, but 18 points. We can't really ask for much more than that. Asar Thompson, 5 fouls. They hurt, but I know Franz was flopping. But you gave us 7 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, but 3 turnovers. But let me be real. The Orlando Magic are a damn good defensive team. They are a damn good defensive team. They beat us at Detroit basketball. They beat us at Detroit basketball. And the reality was they just had more guns when it came to closing out the game. They had Desmond Bane and Franz Wagner. We had Cade Cunningham. And that hurt. And it hurt for several reasons. Cade, I thought, did a masterful job of balancing his aggressiveness, even though there were moments, especially when he got frustrated, where he began to over dribble, where he began to do this heliocentric thing and not play within the flow, and it led to some turnovers. Of course, he was being fouled, as always. We know that. But he's setting himself up when he's over dribbling. It plays into the Orlando Magic's hands. And I could almost see that steal coming when you can tell he wanted to score. He wanted to get his shot off. And Jalen Suggs, who's played with him in the USA team multiple years, Jalen Suggs has seen Cade Cunningham since high school over and over. They're in the same draft. Jalen Suggs read that play. He read that play. The Orlando Magic had the luxury of closing with their best defenders. And when Jalen Suggs was out there, he didn't have to be on Cade. He was actually able to play off of Cade. He was actually able to play as almost like a safety roam position. Anthony Black, 6'8", was able to be on Cade. Franz Wagner. No, I think Franz was on Cade. Anthony Black was neutralizing, taking away Duncan Robinson, which he did really well in this game. And then Jalen Suggs was playing off. I think he was either guarding Karis LeVert or he was guarding um, probably Asar Thompson. And these are the execution moments that we have to figure out how teams are playing us. But there are very few teams who are going to have the defensive personnel that the Orlando Magic have, except for maybe when we play like Oklahoma City. Wendell Carter Jr. did an admirable job holding it down in the middle for the Orlando Magic. And I wanna give respect to where respect is due. The Orlando Magic beat us. They came into Detroit and they beat us without Paolo Banchero. Make no mistake about it, this was a message game. This was a message game. This was a game where the Orlando Magic came in and they said, we're better than you. We believe we are. And we're looking to prove that to ourselves. That is how teams are approaching us. And we need to understand that. We are going to have to bring our best shot game in and game out. Today, we did it even though we didn't execute down the stretch. Remember how I keep talking about the need to box out? Right here. The reality is, at this level of basketball, a rebound should not bounce on the floor. If it does, somebody wasn't paying attention. And those 50-50 balls, they just wanted more. If I'm honest, Jalen Suggs wanted it more. That's who he is. That's who he is. We did not have another guy. We did not have another guy. There were multiple possessions down the stretch, and we can definitely focus on that. We can focus on the missed free throws by Cade, even Duncan Robinson, when he could have had a 4-point play earlier in the fourth quarter where Cade Cunningham could have made a free throw. I think that would have brought us to within one. You see how these little things play out. And then, of course, he misses the crucial one to get it to close to two, right? You know, that, and he could have just made both free throws and then we played the foul game. But the reality is also Cade Cunningham, he gets tired. And I think that we have to acknowledge that Cade cannot play a full quarter. Cade should not be playing the full third quarter. I'm not sure why he has these past couple of games. I don't believe he has been before this point in time. But he should not be playing the full third quarter. He is not someone who has the legs to go 40 minutes. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. And it shows up. He played 1 second under 40 minutes. If I'm honest, where I really saw this game turn, and I'm going to say with all sensitivity, but I also got to give it 100%. I got to be honest, because we have to start assessing. This is the month. Remember, I told you going into December, this is when we really start assessing this roster. Jaden Ivey hurt us in this game. And he hurt us on the defensive end. And the things that he was exposed on the defensive end, he's done every year. He got a little bit better last year. But you can tell he's not back quite when it comes to his defense. Now, I can say this is why, hey, I would have started him out in the G League, let him get his reps, let him get up to 30 minutes in the G League in a game, and then he's able to play this high-level defense, ready to go. I could have said that. It would be nitpicking. Like I said, there are many roads that lead to success. You choose one, and each one is going to come with benefits, and it's going to come with some costs. So I'm not going to act like there was a perfect direction. But Jaden Ivey's defense hurt us in this game. There was a drill that we used to do in college where we used to do like these chatter feet, and the coach would he would like blow his whistle, and we'd have to start chattering our feet nonstop. I mean, hard. And then he would point in the direction we had to open up our hips, and then come back. And we point and we open up our hips while chattering our feet and come back. And we'd keep doing it. And then every once in a while, he'd point down. We had to dive on the floor and jump right back up. And he'd point up in the air. We have to jump up in the air, and then we come right back on our feet. Jaden Ivey is doing a no-no when it comes to defense. Is he's hopping. He's hopping on 2 feet. When he gets up to his guy on the perimeter, he's hopping on 2 feet. And what that does is when they make a move, he's still in the air and he hasn't landed yet. He's not able to open up his hips. He's not able to take a step. Defense is played in steps, and pushing off in steps, lunging in steps. You keep a foot on the ground at all times. Prevents you from being out of place. Ivey's defense was the reason why the Orlando Magic were able to go on a run that extended past Ivey's minutes. See, I'm not as concerned about Ivey's offense. I think that's going to come. He's going to find his rhythm. It's going to come. But his defense. I think his lack of defense in this game was a know-how. It wasn't a hard thing. It was a know-how. You can tell the difference. Duncan Robinson, I applaud Duncan Robinson. The plays he made in that fourth quarter to get us the ball was absolutely just send an advance appreciation to Eric Spoelstra and everything that staff taught Duncan Robinson. That's the type of guy that we need on defense. That level of intensity, that dog to make a play, that right there. That was a thing of beauty. Despite Duncan Robinson shooting 3 of 12, playing 35 minutes, only 1 rebound and 3 assists. He got the steals. He made the plays. He ended this game as our leading ball thief with 3 steals. I've got nothing to say to Duncan Robinson. You see, sometimes I think y'all may not realize I'm less about the outcome and more about the process. I am less about the outcome and more about the process. This was probably one of our best games, if not our best game. We played a far more complete game, especially from the guys that we want to see it from the most, meaning Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham. His defense was locked in. Tobias Harris was locked in. Duncan Robinson was locked in. Stu, I'm going to be honest. Stu, I needed more from you. I needed more from Isaiah Stewart. There were too many dumb fouls. Too many dumb fouls. And when I say a dumb foul, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm saying the foul was completely unnecessary. It did not benefit us. And what you were attempting to do had more to do with you trying to be physical, trying to throw. You can't just throw guys out the way. How many more offensive fouls are you going to get? Tossing guys. Learn how to do a swim move. Learn how to step through. Learn how to use your feet, not your hands. I need more focused intensity that leads to intentionality on the court from you, Isaiah Stewart, because you're too valuable. You're too valuable to this team. I see Isaiah Stewart's 3-point shot in the corner, and I was ecstatic. Because one thing, if you followed my channel, I have repeatedly been saying, is that Isaiah Stewart has the type of game that can have really big offensive games for us when and if he's locked in. I don't want you to lose intensity on the defensive end. I just need you locked in on the defense. I'm sorry, on the offensive end. I need you locked in. I need you picking and popping. I need you out in those corners. I need you on the weak side wing. I need you with your 40+% 3-point shooting on the year. I need you to absolutely torment teams from the perimeter on the offensive end, and then bully them when you have a mismatch. But something that I don't want you to do is to just go at anybody. He almost reminds me of, I mean, this is an anime deep dive. I don't know if y'all follow One Piece. Me and my daughter are watching it. Pretty cool. If you got kids and you like anime, go get you a hella long ass anime series, uh, and just start watching it with them. It makes for a great kind of like dad daughter, dad son time. It's just you sit down, you get your snacks. You laugh, you joke, you got your inside jokes. It's just a beautiful thing. It's almost like fishing, taking camping trips, etc. Going to the basketball court. It's just something. It's really dope. But Isaiah Stewart reminds me of Luffy, right? Where sometimes he's just too energized to get into the mix and he loses focus. And it's almost like you have to keep track of him, because if you don't, he's going to end up getting you in trouble as a team. Mark Vollmer, oh, you took your daughter to a Yamacon? Oh, that's what's up. I want to take my daughter one of these years. For real, for real. I just took her to this exhibit out here in the Bay at the De Young Museum called the Art of Manga. It's a whole like art wing dedicated to like the history of manga and anime. But I digress. Isaiah Stewart can be like Luffy. He's the heart and soul of this team. But sometimes he forgets that. And being the heart and soul of this team doesn't mean that you have to be this ultra aggressive player. We know that you're physical. We know that you bring that toughness. You don't have to prove it. What we need you to do is to be locked in. Ben Wallace, for all of his physicality, for all of his toughness, made sure he stayed in games. He didn't let himself get into foul trouble. He didn't pick up the bad fouls because he knew he was going to need his fouls for when it was needed the most. When he needed to stop a shot. When he needed to put somebody on their butt driving to the basket. Like a Desmond Bain. Franz Wagner. Oh, you just coming in here like it's sweet? You want to get downhill to the rim? Really? You know what? I've only got one foul and it's the third quarter. This is the moment. You're coming in? Bow. I blocked the shot, but I almost knock your head off. It's a play on the ball. Okay, you want to call foul? Cool. It's just a hard foul. But a hard foul you're going to remember. Right? That's how you use your fouls. That's how you play tough and physical. Not on a loose ball, throwing somebody to the side. You were supposed to use your footwork. And we've talked about this before, that defense is played with your feet, not your hands. These are the little things that add up. Because a bunch of our turnovers were offensive fouls, moving screens, loose balls. And these things add up. These things add up. Now, I will say something that I applaud the Orlando Magic about. Anthony Black is a real one. He has been rolling. He has been breaking out. And that guard rotation of Anthony Black, Desmond Bain, and Jalen Suggs is legit. It's legit. That guard rotation heavy defense, high level playmaking, and facilitation. That ball is zipping around. And now that they've sped up the pace, now that they have sped up the pace, they are able to kickstart their offense. And with a high level defense led by Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner and Anthony Black and Wendell Carter Jr., even Tristan Da Silva gets in there. They are able to play our brand of basketball. It's not dependent upon making a bunch of threes. Neither is ours. It's dependent upon high level defense that turns you over and allows them to get out in transition to get easier looks. And their toughness, their physicality, their defense is what wins them games. Sound familiar? They just out executed us. They out executed us. Speaking of execution, 44 people in the chat, only 17 likes. Help a brother out. Appreciate it. The channel appreciates it. This community appreciates it. Just smash the like button for me. I appreciate it. Let me get to some of these comments. Asar, I think he responded to somebody else. Let me say this about Asar Thompson. He's figuring it out. You have to understand, I have different expectations for everybody based upon where they're starting from and what I see their level of growth is. Asar Thompson, as elite as he is defensively, he is offensively like still a baby deer finding his feet. He's learning he can get his shot off at the rim almost at any time. He's figuring that out. And his forays to the rim were effective. He got to the free throw line. He tipped in his own shot with an offensive rebound. He had 4 offensive rebounds in this game. He looked really good in transition, except when he tried to do a little bit too much. I'm looking for the moment where he realizes he needs to just take off and dunk. Where he realizes he needs to just literally get about a foot or two inside of that free throw line and just take off for a dunk and dare somebody to jump with him. That's how I want to start seeing him finish in transition. Not all the moves, not all the trying to put the ball behind your back. You don't have to be like Cade. I know you got a good enough handle, and you're still feeling out when to do what. Yes, you're playing against one of the best, probably defensive backcourts in the NBA, where you have Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs. Even Tyus Jones can defend. I get it. But we need you to lean into your most effective trait, which is your athleticism. Remember, he's only a hair beneath Amen Thompson, but he's actually taller than Amen Thompson, and he's bigger and stronger than Amen Thompson. So I need you to just jump with 2 hands and look to dunk on guys. But shout out to the Orlando Magic, because between Wendell Carter Jr., Goga Bitadze, and Jonathan Isaac, they held down the interior, defending the rim, challenging shots. They did not make it easy on us. I want to say in this game, Wendell Carter had a block. Desmond Bain had 2 blocks. Jalen Suggs had 1 block. Goga had a block. Anthony Black had a block. Jonathan Isaac had a block. They had 7 blocks in this game. We had 8. 4 by Duren. I want to, as hard as this loss was, this was a step forward. And let me get to the super chat real quick. Jay, yo, I appreciate the love for the super chat, brother. Let me just take a moment and respond to your comment here. Trade Levert ASAP. He's hurting our young core development. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay. This was probably the best game I've seen Karis LeVert play for us. This was probably the best game I've seen Karis LeVert play for us. I know he was 2 for 7 from the field. 1 of 2 from the three-point line. Only 1 rebound. He had a steal. but he played in the flow of the offense. He didn't hijack the offense. He moved the ball and he locked in on defense. He locked in on defense. He was right where we needed him to be. Played with really good positional size, used his length to challenge shots, played defense with his feet. He fought over screens, closed out hard. He played a strong game for us. Even though it may not show up in his stat line, he played a strong game for us. Where we lost this game, and I don't want to put it like where we lost this game. I'm saying where we lost momentum in the first half and never really regained it was in those Jaden Ivey minutes. Because his defense is not up to Detroit Pistons par yet. It's just not. It's just not. Yeah, I do think the win streak put a lot of pressure on Cade. But these are good losses. I'm going to be honest. These are good losses. You know when they say not all money is good money? There are some losses that teach you a lot about yourself, that help you to grow. This was a loss that is going to sting. It's going to sting, not just because it's 2 games in a row where Cade has missed free throws down the stretch when it's mattered the most, but also JB Bickerstaff has to look at his minutes, how many minutes he's playing Cade Cunningham. And let me get to this point that I think I need to really pause and talk about. This is a really huge point of emphasis that I couldn't help but see over and over and over again. This team has no idea how to make a post-entry pass. This team had no idea how to make a post-entry pass. Jalen Duren posting up. Jalen Duren also has to learn how to properly seal and get to the ball. You notice Tobias Harris, whenever he's posting up, it doesn't matter who's on him. Jalen Suggs is a first-team All-NBA defensive player. It doesn't matter if he's got Suggs on him. It doesn't matter if he has Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr. Tobias Harris gets to his spot on the block, makes himself big with a strong base, wide frame, calls for it, and gets 2 hands on the ball every single time. Then when he gets it, I mean, he's textbook. Before he dribbles, he looks over his shoulder. He checks to see where the help defense is coming from. He freezes that help defender with a look. He takes a strong dribble while also actively fighting off the hand that would try to reach in and try to get a steal or knock the ball away. And he gets right to his spot, turning towards the middle, turn, fade, gets to the shot he wants every single time. Every single time. Tobias Harris, you can trust him when he's in the post. Jalen Duren needs to talk to Tobias Harris, because this was a game where we needed Jalen Duren's offensive production to take pressure off of Cade, but we couldn't get him the ball. And teams are recognizing we need to sell out on taking away Jalen Duren's lob. We got to take away the pick and roll. And who they're living with is Asar Thompson or Tobias Harris taking shots. So what we have to have is a counter. What we have to have is a counter to that. We have to have something that we can go to. And if we can't get Jalen Duren the ball in a pick and roll, we either need to get him with a pick and a pop, catch it from 15 to 18 feet out, catch, face up, shoot, or we need to be able to get him the ball on the block. Because we needed someone who could create their own shot down the stretch, and we didn't have anyone outside of Cade. Karis LeVert, a little bit, but he wasn't necessarily in his flow, in his bag like that. Once again, playing up against a high-level defensive team, you're not going to get the same looks you would against other teams with less defensive personnel. But it's to say that Duren always has the mismatch without fail. We need him to become accustomed to scoring against high-level defenses like this. Wendell Carter Jr. is actually one of the better defensive centers in the league. In the league. He has the rare combination of physical strength, a low base center of gravity, um, really strong legs, so you can't really move him off his spot. And he's got that 7'5" wingspan, same one that Isaiah Stewart has. He's just more of a legit 6'9", whereas Isaiah Stewart is more like 6'7", 6'8". All that's to say is that even then, Jalen Duren was going to have opportunities to score even against Wendell Carter, Goga Bitadze. But we need to give him the opportunity to figure out how. This was a missed opportunity. If for nothing else, for Duren to fail at trying to assert himself. But we got to be able to get the ball to him. If we can't get the ball to our big man, who right now is still our Robin, until Jaden Ivey really revs up offensively, because this was a game, there were moments where you can see they were Ivey assert yourself moments if he was all the way back, if he had his legs under him, if he was playing confident basketball like he was at the beginning of last season. I think he gets back there. I think in these games, he becomes a disruptive force. When they begin to focus in on Cade Cunningham, and all of a sudden, here comes Ivey taking off down the other side of the court. But Ivey was a little bit hesitant. And I think it was getting in his head, getting scored on so much defensively. We needed Jalen Duren, and we have to be able to get him the ball. I wasn't as mad about the rotations today. They made sense. You can see what JB was doing. Some of them were actually really good moves with Paul Reed for Isaiah Stewart. Once he got into that foul trouble, he was like, no, we need somebody to play physical. Doing the offensive defensive substitution with Javonte Green, great move. The reality was we were just not able to close this game out. And it hurt. Those 2 threes by Jalen Suggs, you got to hand it to him. We were making a comeback. D-Rob, Duncan Robinson, hits that 3, almost has a 4-point play, but misses the free throw. Jalen Suggs comes right back. The moment we grabbed that momentum, we're mounting that comeback. Robinson hits that 3. Jalen Suggs comes right back on the other end. Hits that 3, that pull-up 3 in transition. That got us. And then I think either we missed a shot or we turned the ball over. He comes right back again, hits another one. That was probably where they almost put the game away. Put a little bit out of our reach. A little bit out of the gas that we had left in the tank to mount our comeback. Nizzy in the chat, salute to you, brother. It's good to see you. He says Ivey and Asar are too hesitant when they get the ball. This makes Cade feel like he needs to take over. There needs to be a convo had to let them know to make decisions in 3 seconds or move the ball. That is a great point. If I'm honest with you, though, I think they did a good job of making quick decisions and trusting their decisions. They're just not in their rhythm yet. They are not in their rhythm yet. And you can tell. Asar is not in his rhythm. Getting downhill is nothing for him. Knowing what to do and having the feel for it. I was almost gonna talk about this in this morning's show. Even last night. I want the Detroit Pistons to be playing ones at the end of every single practice. I want them playing ones. One-on-one basketball. You line it up, check it up, king of the hill. You get 2 dribbles, 3 at the most, from the top of the key. Check, go for it. It teaches you not to hesitate. It teaches you to trust yourself. It teaches you to measure up your opponent and go straight in. Just go for it. Just go get a bucket. My favorite game to play when I was coaching, I used to scale development. I used to do footwork, skill building, some level of skill development, whether it's ball handling, whether it's shooting, etc. And then I would put them in smaller gameplay. And one of the smaller gameplay spaces, I would have 5 guys to a court, and they would play 21, King of the Hill, right? Whoever won, and then you would move the winners to their own court, and then they would play 21. What that does is it puts you in a space where you have to utilize a lot of skill on your own with multiple defenders. You have to be creative. That is a type of developmental skill building drill that you can do to help guys find their rhythm, to help guys really trust themselves because it's just you. Ivy and Asar need to build that up. Ron Holland, too, to a degree. Dennis Jenkins as well, because I need that to stay sharp. And it's hard to stay sharp in only 8 minutes a game. This was a game I would have liked to have seen more Dennis Jenkins. This was a game where there were moments where Cade could have trusted his teammates, and I was looking for if he was going to pass the ball up, and he didn't. And I'm not going to say it directly led to some turnovers. I am going to say that some of the turnovers caused was because he was tired, and he didn't realize he was tired. And the other team, namely Jalen Suggs, jumped all over him because they could see that he was tired. JB Bickerstaff, you cannot play Cade an entire third quarter. It just doesn't work. And we've known this about Cade. He doesn't have that level of conditioning. We need to keep his minutes right around 35. We need to play him like Giannis, where we say you're going to play 35, 34 or less minutes a game, and you just have to go ham. And I loved Cade in the first half because the majority of his points he was trying to get was in transition. Cam 52. I'm not putting this on JB. This was a player won lost game. This was a player won and lost game. Whether it's the turnovers, Cade Cunningham had 8 turnovers, completely egregious. You can never have 8 turnovers. I don't care if you got 20 assists. 8 turnovers, you're getting sloppy. Low budget gamer, you said, "Hey, Rock, I'm back on the Laurie trade for real." No. You guys, we can't be victims of the moment and get caught up and forget we are on a journey for a championship. We have to have these games that sting so we can learn. We need these. We need these moments. We are on the verge of potentially losing 3 games in a row. Best believe if we lose 3 games in a row, a lot of the narratives in the media is going to start changing because they're wishy-washy. They're not actually on the journey with us. Jeff Teague, Gilbert Arenas, Matt Barnes, and Steven Jackson and them, they're not on the journey with us. They're just talking point critics for entertainment. All right, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, these guys aren't tracking. They're not watching from game to game. They just kind of jump in and out. But we have to keep the eyes on the prize. We are trying to develop our core that is going to be with us on a championship run. We need these games to show us how far away we are. Cade, you have to stay in the flow and trust your team. JB, you can't play Cade this many minutes. He gets too tired. We need more Dennis Jenkins minutes. That's just real. I understand it's hard to come by. Karis LeVert is still your veteran. You're still potentially looking to trade him and move him at the deadline if you can. um, to open up minutes for a Dennis Jenkins, so you can't just bench him. I get that after such trade, but if I'm honest with you, if Karis LeVert is going to play this level of defense and play within the flow in this way, he becomes more valuable because he's now a part of our team and he's not hijacking. He's actually making guys better by playing in the flow, playing off of our stars. I'm not mad at that at all. If he plays this level of defense while giving us the shooting and the positional size, then I would say he's better than Javonte Green because of the totality of what he brings. If he's the old Karis LeVert, which he is, which he's been for most of his career, which is a zero or negative on defense, and then he's a hijacker of your offense, then no, we got to get him up out of here. This is what we're going to find out over the course of the next month. Are you about this winning business? Because that's what we're about. Deep playoff run this year, championship window next year. And we might luck out and find ourselves in the finals this year. These are the games that prepare us for that. The Atlanta Hawks game, where they out-rebounded us and we barely squeaked out of that, that was a game that was preparing us. The Boston Celtics was a game that was preparing us. How to deal when teams get hot. How to not make it easy for them and put them on the free throw line so that they can get themselves going. Against these Orlando Magic, how to not beat yourself by turning the ball over. We had 24 turnovers. I don't want to hear anything about JB Bickerstaff. Some of y'all, I don't know if you're bots. I don't know if you're trolls. Don't say anything to me about JB Bickerstaff. We had 24 turnovers. I don't care how good a defense the Orlando Magic are. And they play defense on a string. They've been together for years. Their continuity on the defensive end is high level. It's Cleveland, it's New York, it's Oklahoma City level of defense. They are a top 10 defense. 24 turnovers should never happen. If you have 24 turnovers, you're not locked in. Cade Cunningham, 8 turnovers. That's egregious. You should be on the podium. First thing you say, I had 8 turnovers and I missed our free throws down the stretch when it mattered the most. This one's on me, guys. That's what a leader says. He looks at the stat sheet. He looks up. They ask him what happened. And you go, I shot 9 of 12 from the free throw line, missed 3 free throws. And I had 8 turnovers. Some crucial turnovers in the fourth quarter. Not to mention, you're supposed to be one of our better passers. You couldn't get the ball into Jalen Duren posting up. I watched you on the perimeter. You did not have the ability to get the ball. You didn't know hard ball fake up top, step through, wrap around, bounce pass. You know what? 13-13. I don't know if that AGI or AGL or AJL. Dennis Jenkins needs more minutes. He runs the offense extremely well. That is 100%. I'll just call you Drew. Got you. Drew, great point. Dennis Jenkins, and I see that point being listed throughout the chat. I appreciate that. Next time, just shoot me a super chat so we can stop and talk about it, because this is a topic worth stopping to talk about. Dennis Jenkins, if he's running the show, we don't get to 24 turnovers. Let's keep it 100%. 100%. If he is running the show, there is no way we get to 24 turnovers. There's no way Cade has 8 turnovers. But the thing is, I need Dennis Jenkins to have that Rajon Rondo on the Boston Celtics energy. I need him to have that energy to say, when I'm out there, give me the ball. I'm a point guard. I got you, Cade. I'm going to get you the ball back. Give me the ball. I got it. You see, confidence respects confidence. Just like game respects game. When it's go time, when it's win time, and I look you in the eye, if your eyes don't tell me I've got this, give me the ball, I'm not going to give you the ball. Not when it's game point. Not when it's in the throws. If you're not wide open and I'm setting you up for that assist, because I know the amount of work that I've put in. This is the mentality of a scorer. People don't understand how many hours you put in empty gyms, open basketball courts, right? Nobody was with me when I got out of school at 2:15, walked home, did not pass go, did not collect $200, immediately grabbed my basketball, put my backpack down, and because I had my shorts under my clothes, because that's just what we did back in my day, just took off the overlayer and I'm dribbling that 18-minute, because you have it clocked, exactly how long it takes you to get to that court, that 18-minute walk up to Lanier Park. And I'm there by 2:45. I didn't have a sandwich. We grew up kind of poor, so we didn't always have, sandwich meat and all that stuff and bread and all that. You know what I mean? So sometimes just going to the court helped you not think about how hungry you was after school. But I worked on my left hand all the way, dribbling up to that basketball court on that 18-minute walk, working on my crossover all the way up, crossing through the middle school, over the pathway from the park, up that neighborhood, go through the little back alleyway, come out the opposite court, cross the street, the busy boulevard to get to Lanier Park. So I could work on my game for an hour and a half or 2 hours before people started trickling in to hoop for the next 2 or 3 hours before it got dark and I had to go home and dribble all the way back home. People don't understand the hours you put in to get to your 10,000 shots. How many times you worked on that move? How many times you worked on that step back after seeing Juan Dixon and the University of Indiana face I forget the team. I think it was Kentucky in the NCAA championship, and Jared Jeffries and Juan Dixon, and all of a sudden I see that little step back move that Juan Dixon does. Boom, step back, and I go, I'm going to practice that every single day for months, every single Monday through Sunday, right? So it's like when you've practiced that much, when you've put in that much work, I understand why Cade Cunningham goes, if you don't have that eye of the tiger, I'm not giving you the ball because I put in so much work. That's all that I respect in these moments. That's why Jaden Ivey is so important, because Jaden Ivey has the eye of the tiger. Jaden Ivey has the eye of the tiger. That's a Rocky reference for some of y'all that are younger in this chat. You ever seen Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 765? The eye of the tiger. You got to have that look. You got to have that look that says, give me the ball. I got this. I want this moment. I crave this moment. This is me. This is me right now. This is me. If we miss it, it's on me. If I make it, it's because of the work I put in. And I'm willing to carry that. I'm willing to hold that L or that W. Cade has it. That's why he's the man. Ivy has it. That's why he's got to be our number 2. That's why he has to be our number 2. Not everybody has that. Some of y'all want to talk about Lauri Markkanen. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't look at Lauri Markkanen and say he has that eye of the tiger. Yeah, the one against Mr. T was that one. Facts. And against the Russian. Those are my favorites. All this to say is he needed somebody else to be like, give me the ball. Hopefully, over time, it's going to be Jalen Duren to be that third guy. In the same way that now the Orlando Magic have 3 of those guys. I would say for sure, Paolo Banchero is probably the most alpha, give me the ball, but so is Desmond Bane. He's number 2. Desmond Bane's eye of the tiger, give me the ball, is legit. When you are the leading scorer for your NCAA team, I think it was TCU for 3-4 years. He's the man. This is the advantage of playing multiple years in the NCAA, and thank God now for NIL. These guys can really develop down there and build that confidence to really get that. Like, no, I know my game. I know my game. I know what I can do. Don't let me see one shot go in. I'm zoning out. I'm back on my college team. I'm going for 25, 30. Desmond Bain reminds me a lot of CJ McCollum. It's not about elite athleticism. It's about elite skill wrapped into all-time great confidence. We have to figure out how to maximize this team. And to do so, we need these games that push us. We need these games that expose every little crack and crevice and flaw within us. That's how we become great. That's how we win a championship. You got to have these moments. You got to have these moments. Cade Cunningham, any game above 4 turnovers is a bad game. You didn't take care of the ball for us. We couldn't trust you with the ball in your hands. I know it seems like a big thing to say when you got 39 points. But what if you only get 30 points and you swing the ball around and we get 5 or less turnovers? Maybe other guys miss all those shot up attempts, those shot attempts that you don't get by keeping the ball in your hands. Maybe they miss all of them. Maybe they make a few. And maybe combined with those few shots that they make and those few turnovers that we don't end up with, we have a different outcome. Maybe you have more legs to knock down those free throws. Maybe you have more legs to execute down the stretch. These are the moments. These are so important. This game is a game, man, I would love to watch again and again and again. I also want to go back to games with Dennis Jenkins and Jalen Duren in the pick and roll, which is why I love Dennis Jenkins, because he runs the show. He gets guys involved. He knows how to get people the ball. And sometimes when you have an elite scorer, you need someone else to take that onus off of them. Right? There was a time when Jordan played point guard for the Chicago Bulls. Eventually, they were like, actually, just score, bro. If you get assists because of how the defense is playing you, dope. But it's better for the team that we give that responsibility to somebody else. Yep, Dennis Jenkins plays just like a Dennis Schroeder. Just like a young Dennis Schroeder. Definitely a better shooter than Dennis Schroeder was early in his career. I would have loved more Dennis Jenkins minutes. There's a lot to take away. We don't have to get all of it in tonight. We don't. It's been tough. Oh, I didn't get to this other super chat. My bad, Devereaux. My bad. This game showed me that they have to pay attention to details. Not securing the board cost us a chance to win with a 2-point basket. Bro, that hurt so bad. But remember, Devereaux, I don't know if you've been here for these other. One thing I've always said about our fundamentals is we don't box out. Collectively as a team, we don't box out. That can never happen. That should never happen. It just can't happen. 3 straight possessions, you cannot secure the defensive rebound. But if you notice, I did see Jalen Duren trying to hold back his man, though I would say this. When that ball was loose, I saw 3 or 4 Orlando Magic breaking for the ball. meaning their feet are moving as they get around their guy to make a play for the ball. I saw 5 Detroit Pistons standing and watching, expecting someone else to come up with that ball. I would show that over and over and over. In a film, I would just show that right there, right there. That was the game we're watching. In the throes of the game, when it mattered the most, when you were mounting your comeback and you had to get the ball, you stood and watched. You did. Now, I can say, JB Bickerstaff, I need the rotations a little bit better so we can make sure that guys have fresher legs down the stretch. Okay, cool. We can talk about that. But at the end of the day, it's a want to. It's a want. It's a want. Desmond Bain played 39 minutes. Franz Wagner, 36 minutes. Jalen Suggs, 34 minutes. Anthony Black, 31 and a half minutes. And they got to the ball. Wendell Carter, 32 minutes. They got to the ball. We have no excuse for not getting to the ball. We don't. And if I'm honest with you, it's the second time I've seen Asar Thompson in the game not go get the ball down the stretch. That's something I would probably talk to him directly, because you are the most athletic person on the team. There's absolutely no one who should be able to get to the ball before you. That's your ball. That's you coming up with that major play. Because if you remember, that happened against the Boston Celtics. Cade is at the free throw line. Cade misses that free throw. Peyton Pritchard is standing next to Asar Thompson, and he sprints to secure the defensive rebound. You can't tell me Asar Thompson could not sprint and beat him to that offensive rebound, and likely a putback that wins us that game or ties up the game. Right? Like those are the moments. That's the closeout. Asar Thompson, you're an amazing on-ball defender. You do so many things for us at a high level. Shout out to you for not fouling out. You had 5 fouls down the stretch. Franz was flopping all over the place, trying to draw fouls as much as he could. That's how people are going to try to get you the heck off of them. You're just too much. And I applaud you for being that talent. Now I need you to go and get boards. I need double-digit board games from you. Any loose ball in your area, that's yours. You need to be that guy. You swallow up everything in your area. If it's a rebound, if it's a deflection, if it's a loose ball, shot blocking opportunity, passing lane, if it's in my area, it's mine. I need you to have that mindset. I need you to have that mindset. But to be honest, you also have to have the eye of the tiger. And this is the difference between, and I've said this for a while, and I've said this even last year. I said at the beginning of this year, said the Orlando Magic are a better team than the Detroit Pistons because they've been through more together. They've been through more together. They've gotten knocked out of the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. Yeah, they've had injuries. It's been, like, gut wrenching. But they got knocked out. They've been in those high leverage situations. How we lost against the Knicks. They've had 2 years of that. They know how to look each other in the eye and play their roles. Trust each other. Buy in. Jamal Mosley was struggling with them early in the season. He said, "Look, we're not playing our brand of basketball, clearly, because they flipped a switch. They were not playing their brand of defense." And for me, I knew that they needed more Anthony Black, and I could see Anthony Black coming. I could see him last year for sure, but then this year, I said he's taking shots with confidence. He's just missing. But once he starts making those shots, he's going to change this team. The Orlando Magic are a cohesive unit that trusts each other. And now that they figured out how to integrate Desmond Bane, who takes so much offensive pressure off of Paolo and Franz, they now have a big three. They've already put that thing together. Those role players know how to play off of them. Our guys are still learning how to play off of us. We still haven't figured out how to piece together Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, because the reality is we needed Jaden Ivey ready to close out a game like this. But his first half was like, not in this tight of a game. He's not ready. Jay, what's good? The team is turning into Cade fans and watching him hog the ball for long stretches. That is very true. That's on Cade for not involving them throughout the course of the game. That is true also. And that's why I talked about leadership. Cade Cunningham has to become a better leader. He has to take his team with him. He has to move them forward with him. He has to be able to say, hey, you know what? This is what we need to do to get to the finish line. What we need to do, not me try to backpack you guys. That's not what this is. And him trying to backpack, it doesn't work. It does not work. I'd rather Cade have 30 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and only 2 turnovers or less than Cade having 40 points, 11 or 12 assists, and 6, 7, 8 plus turnovers. It's not about how much you score. It's about how we score as a team. And you have weapons. You got to be able to get Jalen Duren the ball in the post. And if you can't, you need to get the ball and you need to tell Jalen Duren, come up, give him the ball, and then space out, spread out, and say, you got it. Duren, you got it. I know it's 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and it's back and forth, but me giving you the ball and me spreading out, telling you that you got it, gives you confidence that I'm saying I trust you. And even if you fail in this moment, I'm going to pat you on the butt and say, you're going to get it next time. Keep working. And then after practice, after the game in the locker room, you two talk about it and be like, hey, in that moment, what I'm looking for, you do this. And then if the help comes, this is what you do. Just wait that extra second. Wait that extra second, because in the first half, he tried a couple times to take it to the basket. He just needed to wait one more second. Let that extra defender clear out. Wait until you survey the court so you can see where the open part of the court is. And then you can make your move. Jalen Duren is a real weapon that we have to develop. And now we have to figure out how to develop him along with Jaden Ivey developing and Cade Cunningham rolling, along with Asar Thompson. Right? These are things we have to figure out. This is why I said it's better to just start Jaden Ivey. Let us figure this out early. And I know that we want to protect him a little bit. I'm not mad at that. He's been out almost a whole year after a really bad injury and then had some knee issues. Okay. Which is why I also said, might as well just play him in the G League, rev up his endurance, get him playing Detroit brand basketball, and then he steps foot on the court ready to rock. Not on a 10 to 12 minute restriction. See, here's the thing. I get it. Karis LeVert is going to get targeted by teams offensively or while he's on defense. Duncan Robinson is going to get targeted. Ivy, you can't be someone who's who is being targeted or is targetable, however you want to put it. That can't be you. You have to be something different. And we need that pressure on you on both ends, just like it's on Cade, just like it's on Duran, who had a great defensive game tonight. I want to give him props. I started this off giving him props. I'm going to end it giving him props. Jalen Duran had a great defensive game tonight. He showed he could keep up with the flow of the game, make sure he is in position. He made the plays. He got back on defense. He cleaned the boards. He was disruptive on the interior. He had a great game. Avery Whiteside said, "We have speed on this team and athletic wings. You can't tell me we can't get them good looks at the bucket." But a part of this is we need someone who is going to run the offense. Asar Thompson will run the offense. Cade can run the offense at times, but I keep saying I think he's best off the ball. He's best off the ball. Let Asar run the offense in the starting lineup. Let him be a point forward. Get the initial pass. I'm ready to put Ivy in the starting lineup. I'm ready to say sink or swim, bro. At least when we get to December next week, which is crazy to say. December is next week. This year has flown by. It's also felt like a very full year, but it's flown by. And now it's December. I'm ready to throw you in there. I'm ready to throw you in there. And then have a bench lineup of Dennis, Duncan, Karras, Ron, and Stu. 10-man rotation. Let's go. Let's go. Who has that conversation with Cade? He is the leader. Right now, it's going to have to be JB Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff is going to have to trust his relationship with Cade Cunningham to let him know you've got to trust your team. You've got to get off the ball more. You have to. But JB also has to do a better job of resting Cade in that third quarter. Playing him all the way through a third quarter does not work well for us. He is not a 40-minute per game. Yes, he's talented. Yes, he's going to be able to get us buckets. We have to trust the team. We have to trust our overall offense. I trust Duran. I trust Tobias. I trust Ivy to figure it out. Give him chances to figure it out. Asar Thompson, Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert, Dennis Jenkins. I trust these guys. JB, you got to trust him too. Sit Cade the last 3-4 minutes of the third quarter. Sit him. Let him sit. Bring him back in at the 7-minute mark, 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Let him close it out. Remember, we're not playing for right now. I get this was the NBA Cup. We're playing for the cup. I get it. I get it. We wanted that win because that win would have pushed us into the next round. I think this loss eliminates us with 2 losses. I'll see the details later. Look, uh, I like to leave us with the word of the day, word of this moment. I love this line, Denzel Washington's The Eraser. He has this line where he says, "There's some pain in life that changes you, and there's some pain in life that changes us. And sometimes it changes us for the better. Sometimes we fight conflict and hard moments so much that we don't actually get what's being demanded of us, that we don't actually get the value of how much this hurt, that we will change something about ourselves for the better, hopefully, right? Not isolate ourselves from everyone and say, the world hates me, it's me against the world, and I can't. No, no, no. It means I have to grow up. I have to mature. I have to become a better communicator. I have to do better at this, at being a more full human being. There are some moments in life, there's some pain in life that changes you, and it should. Moments like these for the Detroit Pistons should change them for the better. But sometimes that also happens in our own lives. And we got to learn some hard lessons. It sucks. It really sucks. I can't tell you. I've been through shit in my life. I've been through some hard stuff. And these things have changed me. Don't fight it in your life. Let life do what it's supposed to do. Teach you to become a better man, a better human being, better father, better brother, a better friend, a better husband, a better partner. Embrace the moment. It's not bad. It's not wrong. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of your process. That's how you get to your championships. That's how you get to your successes, by learning in hard moments, becoming better, better listener, a better friend, a better confidant, a better partner, more present, more honest and transparent, more vulnerable, more patient, more controlled. Go out and get that therapist if you need it, or a life coach. Get the support you need to keep growing, because that's how we get to these championships. Hopefully, this pain tonight grows the Pistons. Looking forward to tomorrow. We got the Miami Heat. Should be a good game. Um, it's going to be a tough one. What time is the game tomorrow? Let me pop back real quick. The game tomorrow is Saturday the 29th. We have the Miami Heat at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. So we get a full day. We get a full day. Um, that is not going to be an easy game at all. Miami is rolling, absolutely rolling right now. Expect them to give us hell. We'll see how the Pistons respond. With that, yo, y'all have a dope night. Appreciate everybody came through in the chat. Appreciate all the likes. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do now or after. Leave a comment. I try to respond to as many comments that are posted on this. Share this video with your friends and your group chats. Um, Appreciate all y'all. This was lit. I loved it. I'm gonna holla at y'all tomorrow morning, as we talk about what to expect for the Miami Heat. They got Tyler Hero back with Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell, Jaime Jaquez. They have a squad over there that's going to be hungry and waiting, because everybody, telling you right now, I've been saying this, we're not as good as our record, and everybody's going to be playing us to prove that to themselves and to the league, that we're better than them. That's what it means to be the top dog. That's what it means to be at the top of the mountain. Everybody's looking at you to knock you off. We'll see how the Pistons respond. Y'all have a great night. Drink some water, get some rest, laugh deeply, love someone deeply, give them a deep hug, live your life to the fullest. Get at y'all next time. Peace.